Hello, I'm X Toycat, and Mojang doesn't seem to know how to release updates with a 9 in the name without upsetting the entire community. And this is an especially dumb one because it was going to release last Tuesday, as you can see from this now deleted news post, but at the last minute they pulled it. This was due to some pretty valid concerns, but instead of just delaying the unpopular features the community didn't want, they delayed the entire update. And because of Java and Bedrock updates releasing on the same day, this means that Allay duplications and other improvements are also delayed on Bedrock solely because of dumb decisions happening on Java. This poor handling of such a big issue is clearly important to the community, and I think it raises a bigger question about who really owns Minecraft and who gets to decide decisions. Is it the community, or is it the developer, or is it Microsoft? I mean, ultimately, whoever it is, they should probably get some better skills at handling this sort of mess, and you know where you could learn some new skills? That's right, the video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an all-in-one platform that allows you to learn pretty much anything from one of their thousands of classes. As a personal example, I always love to get a little bit of inspiration for this sort of job that I do. Do you know that I make YouTube videos? I hope you do at this point. I like to take classes about video editing because I find it really interesting the things that can be done with the editing stuff, and it's sort of inspiring to realize what you could actually do if you were just a bit better at something. It's actually done by MKBHD, a YouTuber who is fairly well known for their editing, so you're actually hearing from someone who knows about what they're talking about. Ultimately, I think a lot of the stuff that holds us back is inside of us because we don't even know the things that we don't know, and although I can't tell you all the things you don't know, I can tell you where you could learn about them because Skillshare is trying to make the year 2022 the year of learning, and the first 1,000 of my viewers to sign up through the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and indeed my lobster roll addiction, and thank you to the web archive because Minecraft did release this page for just a few short hours on the 28th of June before realizing that, oh no, we actually changed our plans and then deleting it, but the web archive allows you to see older versions of web pages, including this one, which shows us the Allay duplication that we would have had an opportunity to play around with. Look at all these lovely images of them flying around a super flat world that we now can't enjoy because 1.19.1 is delayed and 1.19.10 has to be delayed solely because of silly reasons. I mean, if we just zoom out for a second, it would be really easy to solve this wider issue. I mean, it's clearly controversial, should there be moderation on servers or not, but the simplest thing to do would be saying, oh yeah, it seems the community is really upset with this, how about we avoid making really big mistakes like with that last 9 based update, and how about this time what we do is we just delay it for a bit and we wait to hear people's feedback. How about we make something that will be good for the players by listening to what they think rather than trying to rush it in at the last minute. No. Instead what they did is they doubled down on their stance that this was a really good idea. They just said they're delaying it and they're unreleasing the update because they want to make sure it's even stronger. There are even more buttons that people can have, and it's really impressive to me just how bad of a take that is, but also, I mean, if we go another step with this, we could just say that, okay, the actual issue itself, if we say that we have to put it in this update, all you have to do is temporarily put it in there on an opt-in basis. Allow server owners to opt into it if you want to, or have a system where individual players or server owners can decide that they are not, going to be following this moderation-friendly system because they want to be places where people can say things about getting banned based on their last 10 messages, and then those same people would not be visible to everyone else, or the servers would therefore not be playable by people who haven't gone into the settings and specifically confirmed they are not a child. Have some, kind of thing where you check the age on the Mojang account, or have it be a parental setting that you can opt into, and then only messages from other people who have opted into the child settings and also get moderated will see it. I mean, there's so many solutions, right? On an individual level, I would say that all you have to do is say that moderation can be a choice for a bit. Roll it in by letting people see how mild it actually is, rather than letting people fear the worst. Have it be optional for a bit and then make it, mandatory later. There's so many better ways to do this, and I think most of it comes down to communication. As you know, that's probably the most important thing for any relationship between anyone, but particularly a business one, or perhaps you could say the relationship that the world's largest game has with its 100 plus million players, maybe, just maybe, you should communicate with the people who have valid concerns rather than just trying to steamroll ahead of them and ignore their thoughts and just, kind of rush this through as fast as you can. If you look at 1.9, they made the big mistake of, seeing that it might be controversial and figuring people would give up. But no, it's been 10 updates since then. It's been almost 8 years since 1.9 came out, and we're still having issues of some servers using older combat or older combat plugins. We still have a divided community, and they still are working on a solution to fix that, the combat update v2. It's taking so long to make sure that they fix these wounds that they could have just not caused, or they could have consulted the community before, doing, because there's always going to be some disappointed people in an update, but just make sure you're listening to people, or even at the bare minimum before that, make sure you're communicating what you're doing and why you think it's right. There has been this huge backlash for the last 2 weeks now. I've been trying not to get too involved, but I've been seeing it, and despite that, what has Minecraft been posting on their social media channels? Well, they've got this really good response on their Twitter. Obviously, we've got to past this little post about promoting a marketplace sale that they're doing, but after that marketplace sale, you can see that, okay, well, they're actually, it's a Minecraft novel they're promoting, but as well as that, they've got, okay, this is another marketplace post, okay, this is another marketplace post, okay, the Wild update, they're promoting this brand new update they released, and they're about to update with a new controversial feature. Also, then there's another marketplace post, and in case you think this is like a soulless brand promotion only thing, they do have a post talking about Technoblade right here. They did respond to that really quickly. I love this little, they updated the Minecraft Java screen having this little crown on the pig. That's a really wholesome way to say that you respect the community, except if it takes you, less than a day to respond to that. Maybe, with the 2 weeks, you could have a better, fully formed response and, actually address the community, which it doesn't seem to have happened. This just builds and builds, and although I think everyone who is angry about it should say that it should be canned forever, I think at the very least, delay it. Give it some more time, make sure it's more fully thought out, make sure you're listening to people's concerns and you've addressed them in a more full way, but ultimately, do they need to do that is the more interesting question here, right? As a Minecraft player, you probably think, of course, Mojang has to listen to us, and if you are ultimately a Microsoft shareholder, he would say, "Ooh, it sure is a good thing that you're reducing that liability from lawsuits relating to all these children that you've got there. Good job." And ultimately, which is the more important voice? Is it the voice of the people managing the game that are trying to do something they genuinely believe is a good idea, or is it the people who play the game who make it what it is? There is some real argument that Minecraft as a game is nothing without Minecraft the cultural phenomenon, which comes from the fact that so many people are playing and loving this game. If Minecraft keeps making bad decisions, if Mojang do not watch out and do not make sure that they're doing things that are for the interest of that community at large rather than just themselves, then they will lose their golden goose that is laying these golden eggs. Which is the more important perspective, doing what's right regardless of what people think, or listening to what people think and trying to implement it? This is a issue that is as old as time. A democracy seems like the best system until it starts to make some really wacky, quirky decisions. Everyone, when they learn I've been in America, they've been talking about that too, right? Like, ooh, there's some democracies in this country that aren't doing things that people like on either side of any given issue. It seems when different states go different ways, but it's really interesting to see that people have this strong feeling that democracy is great when they're in the democratic mob. When they're against it, it's like, yeah, actually, I'm not so sure. A lot of the important rights that I hold to be very sacred were not very popular when they were implemented. I think, as an example, I don't like the idea of the death penalty, and that is something that people were really in favor of because, it's criminals and who... Actually, this is probably a sensitive issue. I think it's still legal in the US, right? So probably picked a bad example. But anyway, you get the point that there are all sorts of issues where you're not on in the group for, and at that point you say, actually, this is why it's important we have sets of principles by which we guide things. And so this is, I guess, the internal issue that Minecraft has. You can't listen to the community on everything and just implement the most popular features. There's going to be some really good things added in there, like the backpack or like new fun dog skin skins for every breed of dog that exists in the real world? Or what about a tier of gear that's above Netherite? You can keep adding things that people want. What if there's sharpness goes up to 10 now? People would love each of these changes, but over time they would start to break the point of the game. They would break the balance of the game, they would break the cohesiveness of the game, and they would stop Minecraft being Minecraft, even though each of them seems very good by themselves. As a collective, they don't work out. And so Minecraft developers, Minecraft managers, whoever is in charge of what is added to Minecraft, have to work out when is a community suggestion that is very popular, overwhelmingly popular, not a good idea to add to the game, and the reverse too. They have to work out what very unpopular features they should add anyway, because they think it will make the game much better in the long run. As an example of this, there was a big backlash to the idea of Mojang building underneath your existing chunks to make the caves go down to Y minus 64. People said, no, you promised us you would never mess with our existing chunks, and there is certain truth to that. They did say they would never mess with your existing stuff, but this isn't really your existing stuff. It's below your bedrock, but to go below your bedrock, they had to change your bedrock, and so they did change everyone's world so they could give you extra caves. But now even the oldest worlds from beta and alpha are to some extent ruined if you play them in a newer version, because these older chunks have been changed. However, the small trade-off of that and the trade-off of having to slightly go back on one of their previous commitments meant that they could then double the size of caves without messing up people's existing worlds. And honestly, I feel like you could go endlessly on features that people don't like but really improve the game overall. Even the combat update, right? It's not a well-liked update, but having dual wielding is really cool. I mean, for Java players. I mean, any day now. It's only been 7 years. It's okay. I like being able to only hold maps and Nautilus shells and fireworks. It's okay, Mojang. Keep taking your time on adding that to the game, by the way. Really, really appreciate that. Think it's a good idea for you to say that you'll add it in the next combat update, and then to spend 3 to 4 years working on a combat update with literal year gaps in between development snapshots. Don't worry, I love that. That's one of my favorite things. But you get the point at this point. I hope that there are all sorts of features that are very popular, not added to the game, and then they also add unpopular features to the game that ultimately do make it better in the long run. I love the look of new caves. I love the way they play. I think it was worth making this unpopular decision. I really, like the new biomes and the way worlds generate, even though that means that old seeds get a little bit weird when it comes to this sort of stuff. I think they make unpopular decisions that make Minecraft better, and so ultimately, who owns Minecraft? Is it the developers or is it the community? The answer is, well, of course the developers, and to some larger extent the brand managers at Mojang. Of course they own the game, and then you can go a step up and say, well, obviously Microsoft has 100% of the shares in Mojang Incorporated, and it's a really, Microsoft owns the game. They give Mojang a pretty free, at least to do what they want with it. I think some people like to exaggerate and pretend that every single bad decision that they don't like that is done by Mojang comes from Microsoft, and everything good about Mojang comes from Mojang themselves. Let's be honest, 99% of their decisions are happening by themselves. Would the marketplace have happened without Microsoft? Who knows? Would forcing that marketplace-enabled version onto as many platforms as possible, as fast as possible, with no regard for quality, have happened without Microsoft? Who knows? But ultimately, it is Microsoft/Minecraft who have control over their game, and if you don't like it, your only real option is to stop playing. But that's not really true, because they do care some large amount about what the player base thinks. If there is some feature that has very huge community backlash and there's not much of an addition, they will decide not to add it. There's a lot of examples to cite for this, but how about the fact that the Warden, which was famed to never have a drop because they didn't want to encourage you killing it, they decided to add a small drop at the very end and a small amount of experience just so you felt like you were killing it and it didn't feel like a bug, because the community said, yeah, you might as well. Something small is better than something not at all, and so that is something they decided to do, and they've done this time and time again. I think that we are seeing it less and less in modern day Minecraft. I mean, the whole model has always been based on snapshots, where they release every single week what they've been doing, and they get feedback immediately, and they start to work it into what they do in the future. However, either Minecraft has outgrown that model, or maybe they've just decided that it's not working to make the best game anymore, because now when there is a controversial feature, instead of listening and trying to change it, they say, no, trust us, you're gonna love this one. Instead of listening when people said that actually, we would prefer to have fireflies in, we don't really mind about the whole animal thing, they said, no, trust us, fireflies weren't gonna be that good anyway, and also, like, lots of people would kill lots of frogs probably, and that's important to us. They overruled the suggestion of the community there, you could perhaps say, and this is something that I think is a more and more common occurrence. And is this a good thing for the game? It seems like it, not on the surface. I think, particularly when it comes to this chat moderation feature, it's going to cause a lot of people to have a lot of servers that just don't use any of Mojang's infrastructure, which is probably a bad thing all around. But I think ultimately this is just coming down to a difference in the style that Mojang is going for. There are so many ways to take a big group of people who all have different wants and kind of balance out their needs, and Mojang has gone for not the route where you listen to everyone and you make sure everyone's always happy, but instead they're trying to, it sounds like, make the best game while also ticking all of those important legal and protection boxes. But ultimately, is ticking those legal and protection boxes actually contradicting that first goal? I mean, like with trying to protect animals, making Minecraft worse to do so maybe isn't the smartest of moves. It might allow you to pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, we saved so many frogs today, but did you actually help people out who are playing this game that is so important to them? Adding this protection to the game might make you feel like, yeah, we're going to save literally dozens of people every day from being involved in toxic behavior. We're going to finally do something about these terrible people who are ruining the online experience. But are there that many people who go on a Minecraft server and have their absolute life ruined? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But when it comes to upsetting the entire majority to please a small minority, it's something that is a very dangerous game to play, and it's a dangerous game to play repeatedly, and that's why the question of who owns Minecraft, is it the community or the developer, is a question without an answer. You cannot focus solely on one of those things. You can't focus solely on the community because of what I said, but also when you go the opposite way and you say, we know better, we always know what we're doing, we don't even need to justify ourselves to you, then you get a situation where instead of helping these small groups that you're trying to, you actually stop helping the massive hordes of people who play Minecraft every day, who use it as an escape, who use it as, the chill game, the one game that you can always come back to. That's ultimately what Minecraft is for so many, myself included. You always have some fun and some relaxing times, unless you go on a server, and if you say something and someone reports it, and the moderator reads it in just the wrong way, in which case, maybe you won't. But that's probably not going to happen, right? With that said, let me know what you think. I hope you will enjoy this video. By the way, was sponsored. I thought they wanted to sponsor the second channel. That's usually where this stuff comes in. But they said no, on this channel it is. And I said, you know what? I do enjoy getting a little bit of sponsorship money, which I can now use to buy myself some lobster rolls. Life is going okay over here, and I hope that for the people who are in charge of the decisions, that life goes well soon enough that they can realize that maybe listening is a good idea. Or maybe not. Who knows for sure. I just hope you enjoy this video. I am working on a couple of fun ones, including week 2 of the Ancient City, and something went really weird in that. I have to talk about that some other time. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.